Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel. I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, you know, it's a big confusion. You know, I get a lot of emails with people want me to answer this specific question. Now, what's the difference between the feelings and emotions? Now, people done got so left brain in this realm of reality that we in right now, and people can't even tell the difference between the feelings and emotions. And you've been put so far away from your instinctual nature of being attached or being emotionally connected to your emotions. You have been so far removed from that you don't even know that the difference between the feelings and the emotions. And then when you got intellectual beings out here who's creating certain realms of realities and programs and portals for mankind and humans to go into, what happens is they replace the internal with the external. So they replace what you they replace what you with your emotions and your insides. They replace that into what's external, and what becomes external becomes a feeling. So then you replace your emotional state into an actual feeling. And feelings, you experience feelings. Feelings is not you. You see what I'm saying? Now, your filler planets is Mars and Venus. So Venus is more pleasurable, is your pleasures, and Mars would be your hatred. Now, when we talk about in astrology, you know what I'm saying, we could break it down to more. Mars, your passions, your desires, you know what I'm saying? Venus is how you love, appreciate, how you relate to others, you know what I'm saying? But those are constructs under love and hate in general. You know what I'm saying? For you to have a passion to want something, you have to hate the current situation that you're in. So that builds a passion to put yourself in to have enough willpower to put yourself in a situation where you want to be. So that's like Mars. You know what I'm saying? When you love and appreciate and value something, that gives you pleasures. So both of these are filler planets. But you know what I'm saying? This is why your sun, moon, and rising are your most important, because these are you. Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter and all that, these are the tools you have. These are the tools you have. And they complete your astrological makeup as you to become a being. But at the same time, your most important is your sun, moon, and rising. And your sun is what you enlighten, what you can see, what you can understand and overstand. Your space, how you see things, your eyes. You know what I'm saying? The moon is your emotions. You know what I'm saying? In the world you live in, who you are, your soul, what you're subconsciously aware of. The sun is what you're consciously aware of. The moon is what you're subconsciously aware of. You know what I'm saying? So it's the behind the scenes realms what motivate the actions. And your rising is like your spiritual inclination, your personality throughout it all, how you present your actions and your reactions. So for an example, if your sun sign is a Taurus, you are the way you act is like a stable person, a stable and sturdy person that looks for foundation. If your rising is Leo, then the way you do your actions may be in a very expressive type way, maybe in a very center stage like way, maybe in a real stubborn and enlightened type way. So this is the way you carry out your actions. So even though your personality may be fast paced, the way you do your actions may be slow and steady. So the way you doing slow and steady actions is in a real fast and expressive way. You know what I'm saying? And if your moon is in, let's say, Cancer, then the way you emotionally feel about that is you like to connect to the things you're doing. You like to connect to your actions. You know what I'm saying? You may not always agree with the personality or the way you do your actions a lot of times, because that's water and fire, and you may feel like you put yourself in a vulnerable situation. But you know what I'm saying, every now and then you get emotionally secure with yourself, so it can feel like home, and you don't feel like you don't want to feel uncomfortable about your emotions and feelings about the situation. So they're tempering with each other. So that's just bringing in an example of, you know what I'm saying, why the sun, moon, and rising is most important. But for the most part, when we're talking about the difference between the emotions and the feelings is going to deal more with Venus and deal with more with Mars. Your emotions is going to deal with the moon. So your emotional awareness, the emotional state you are, that's the moon sign. So this is how your emotional temperate is. So this is how you're going to take in feelings. The emotions is still like a box, or still like a ramification. Now, water signs in generals is the emotions and feelings. Fire signs is the seer and the feelings. So you see how they both you see how they may clash, because they feel in two different ways. You know what I'm saying? The water may feel and like to soak in what they feel. So they put the feelings and catch all the feelings. This is why water signs may hold grudges, or may be emotionally connected to family or friends or things of that nature, because however they feel, the emotions play as a catcherment. So if remember, feelings are not you. Feelings is what you experience. Feelings are energies that get filtered out through the lights of Mars and Venus. Now, wherever your Mars and Venus at, that's how you're gonna attract feelings. And the actual feelings that you attract, you catch it with your emotions. And your moon sign is how you actually going to see the feelings. For an example, if a person have Venus and, like, I'm gonna give myself one example. I have my Venus in 2 degrees Gemini. So we ain't gonna talk about cuss right now. We're just gonna talk about Gemini. So basically, if my Venus in Gemini, the way I feel about things, I feel like I should be communicating. I feel like I should be analyzing in a mutable way, right? That's how I feel like should be doing. But my moon is in Sagittarius. So what happens here is the way I feel, the feeling. I'm catching this feeling. So this is not me. I'm not a communicative person. Gemini is not my sun, moon, or rising. So this is not me. But this is the type of feelings I'm attracting, because my Venus is in Gemini. So I'm attracting feelings like, so sometimes, even if I'm not a communicative person, I feel like I should be communicating. So a lot of times that may throw people off, because a lot of times it may be a confusion within myself. But in this case, my sun is in Aries. It's not a sextile though, because my sun is 17 degrees Aries. But let's just say, for the sake of this video, it plays out as a sextile sometimes. A sextile creates opportunities. So a lot of times my actions may witness a lot of opportunities for me to communicate. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. What I love and appreciate and value and relate to, which is communications, which is just a feeling I relate to, because Venus is just a feeling, it's not me. That feeling that I relate to is going to witness opportunities to be acted upon. You know what I'm saying? So this what makes me good at communication, long as I jump on the opportunity. And it will make me bad at communication too, or over communicative, when I jump too fast at the opportunity. See, anytime there's a sextile, that's an opportunity. Now, as far as getting back to my moon, it's opposite to my moon. So now that's an opposite to the way I feel. So now, since Venus in my chart, say, is in Gemini, right? Sometimes I catch energies, I catch feelings of thinking. Now, feelings are not you, but I'm here to I'm trying to give y'all examples how to separate between the emotions and the feelings. The emotions deal with your moon, the feelings deal with everything else in the world. But the way you attract feelings is through your Venus and your Mars. You know what I'm saying? And then the way you process it is through your emotions. Now, for an example, I'm giving myself an example. Moon in Sagittarius. My emotions, one of my feeling planets is a Gemini. Now, these is opposites. Now, since now I'm catching in the world, I'm catching all these feelings of thinking I should be mutable communicating, mutable thinking and stuff like that. Now, the way I feel about it, now the way I emotionally process it, and my emotions is immutable fire, and it's opposite. So now, when I'm catching feelings of thinking I should communicate and analyze, I feel opposite to that. I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like I should learn the meaning of something, learn the reason behind it, learn the spirituality over it first. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the emotional awareness my moon is in. My moon is in Sagittarius, mutable fire. So it's being mutable and adaptable to other people's ways of seeing and feeling of things. my Venus is in mutable air, which is Gemini, being mutable and adaptable and changeable to its own or other people's ways of thinking and communicating. So now this creates a opposition within myself. A lot of times I catch feelings of thinking I should communicate, but how I emotionally feel about it, I feel like I shouldn't at the time. So now that's an opposition I have within myself. It's not a sextile, it's not a square, it's not a trine, it's not a conjunction. It's an opposition. So you see now a lot of times you see what I might deal with. You know what I'm saying? That might be an issue I have to deal with. So for an example, I catch these feelings. Fire is the filler and the seer. Now the difference between water and filler. Now for an example, if I was a water moon, which I carry some of the characteristics and traits because I'm an 8 degree Sagittarius, and that falls in the heart of the Scorpio constellation. But just for the sake of this video, let's talk about the energies. If I was a water moon like Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio for the sake of video, right? When you catch feelings from your Venus or when you catch feelings from your Venus or Mars, now water, what is water in astrology? The emotions and the feelings, right? So right here is dealing with feelings. So it's having to deal with feelings already. So it's dealing with its own feelings or feelings that it doesn't appear to have. So when it catch the lights of energies from the feelings and the emotions of the world and out of their Venus and Mars, what happens with a moon and a water sign is the emotions and the feelings. So it take the feelings, it's dealing with the feelings, and it also puts it in the emotional awarenesses in. The moon sign is the emotional awarenesses in. So if the moon is in a water sign, then it's automatically dealing with the awareness also. So it's taking these feelings, and since the moon sign is in a water sign, the water is the emotions and the feelings. It take the feelings, and the emotional box it holds it in it. You know what I'm saying? Because a water sign is the emotions. So when it's in the emotional planet, which is the moon, it catch the feelings and hold on to the feelings because it then it deals with them. Now the fire is the seer in the feelings. So it catch these feelings. So when a fire is in when the moon is in a fire sign, it catch these feelings from Mars and Venus and see them for what they are. So when it see them, it visualizes them because it gives them an insight. Light, fire, it brings light, and what you can see, whatever realm of reality in, which you is living a mankind, human realm of reality. So how you see it when you are awake, what's external is how you see things. That's the visualization color you're going to give that feeling when you try to see it. So those two things together creates visualization, intuition, insight. Because you can see a feeling now because you gave it a color, you gave it an external look now. So this is why you express it. You express what you see. And if you see in feelings and feelings have no look, you have to give it expression, give it a movement, give it a sight, give it a look. With the light you give it, that's when the moon is in fire. When the moon is in water, it gets the emotion and it gets a feeling from them, and then it soaks it in. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps it in the emotion. So now it understands it. It understand the type of feeling it is, whatever feeling it is. If it's a mad feeling, angry feeling, positive feeling, boom, it soaks in this feeling and understand that feeling and give it an emotional title. You know what I'm saying? This is why fire signs are not emotional, but they moody. This is why water signs may be emotional and moody, but not too feely touchy. See what I'm saying? This is why fire signs may be sensual and feely touchy. You know what I'm saying? But not emotional. You know what I'm saying? This is why water signs may be over emotional, but not feely touchy. You know what I'm saying? Because when you try to get too close to them, how they feel about things, they put up a guard. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Because they understand their emotions. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thin line between. So when the water and the fire is filler and seer, water is filler and emotions. So when the water and fire are both feeling a certain way, this is why they clash, because they feel in two different ways. You know what I'm saying? The water sees its feelings and express it. The water gets the feelings and put it into an emotional box. You know what I'm saying? So the way they deal with their feelings is in two different ways. This is why they clash. Water may put out fire. Fire may evaporate water. See what I'm saying? So then you have earth. and air. They're the thinkers. Air, think and communicate. Earth, think and practicalize. Now, where they may clash at is because they think in two different ways. So air may like to think and communicate what they think. Earth may like to think and make sense out of what they think. So a lot of times that's not even dealing with communication, because they're too busy observing and reserving what they're thinking about, so they can come with a practical sense conclusion that makes sense. So a lot of times this will make them reserve. They letting you do all the talking and they observing you. So this is where they clash with their thinking. You see what I'm saying? But when we get back to the emotions and the feelings, now the thin line between the emotions and the feelings, the emotions is what you have. You have a moon sign. You have a soul. You have an emotion. Now the way your emotion play out is how whatever moon sign, your whatever moon sign you have. So if your moon is in a fire, your emotion, the way you receive feelings is in a fiery way, because your emotional stance is in fire. So when you receive a hatred feelings from someone, then your emotional standpoint to that is in fire. So you may aggressively attack that feeling. You see what I'm saying? If your moon is in the air, and if your moon is in the air and you pick up and you receive a feeling, an angry feeling, then your emotional stance is to communicate about it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe to think about it, analyze about it. You know what I'm saying? And what's the best outcome how to handle that feeling with your emotions. Your emotions. If your moon sign, aka your emotions, was in the earth sign, then if you pick up an angry feeling from Mars or Venus, then when it received that light, you know what I'm saying? When it received that angry light, the emotional stance you may be in, maybe to think and practicalize that feeling. Maybe to see your emotional stance on that feeling, on that angry feeling that you got from Mars or Venus. Your emotional stance, if your moon is in the earth sign, is going to be, okay, what's the common sense of this feeling? How can I practically handle this feeling? You know what I'm saying? That's going to be your emotional stance. So now you see, you as I break it down, you're starting to understand the difference between the emotions and the feelings. It's a thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line between the emotions and the feelings. So shout out to Martin Lawrence. Now, also, we could break it down even more. Now, you're like, okay, how am I picking up these feelings? Like I said, through Venus and Mars. Now, go look where your Venus and Mars at. Venus is gonna, now, if we're not breaking into astrology, we're just breaking into an energetic metaphysic realm of reality, but tying it to an astrology on a higher density. Look at it like this. Go see where your Venus and Mars is at. Now, if your Mars is in freaking let's say Aries, if your Mars is in Aries. Now, instead of talking about astrology, about okay, this is the traits that your Mars have. Yeah, that's you. These are your tools. You're gonna have the traits of being initiative and creative. Initiative and creating ways of seeing things and how to feel about things when it comes to passions, intentions, willpower, and desires. So Mars likes to be here. Now, for an example, now you're gonna that's talking about it in astrology way. Now let's talk about it in this form. Now, if Mars is in Aries, this is gonna be everything you hate. So Aries likes to be first place. So if your Mars is in Aries and you come in second place, you're gonna hate that. So now you caught a hatred feeling because of the realm of reality of where your Venus is at. You know what I'm saying? Where your Mars is at, or your Venus. In this case, Mars. So if your Mars is in Aries, you caught a hatred feeling. So these feelings are not you. Like I said, what are you is your rising, sun, and moon. But these planets are you, is this the tools that you have. Just like, for an example, you is your mind. Your hands is not you, but it's part of you. You can use your hands for your use. But your hands is not technically you. You know what I'm saying? You is within you. Your mind, your moon. You see what I'm saying? Now, when we talk about, so this like talk about Mercury. That's why they say Mercury, your hands, your lungs. That's why they say this, that, and the third. They go down. But let's talk about it. That's why they say Saturn is your knees. And all right, but let's go. Now, that's how you caught. Now, let's say your Mars is in Libra, right? So when someone is over talking you, or trying to create situations for you, or trying to put you in a situation where you can't compromise, you're gonna hate that, right? So you caught a hatred energy feeling from Mars. Now this feeling, reason why you caught it, because that's your Mars sign. But the feelings is not you. It's this is how you process feelings, by your filler planets, Venus and Mars. Now, you caught that feeling. Now, how you process that feeling, right, is going to be through your moon. Now, your moon is your emotions. So this is what emotional box you're going to put it in. So regardless of the feeling you picked up, wherever your moon is at is what you have. You have emotions. Everybody have emotions. Everybody deal with their emotions different due to the feelings that they pick up. For an example, you know that you may pick up a feeling, say you and your friend is smoking a blunt, right? The way you feel about the blunt may be different than your friend feel about the blunt, but y'all both smoking a blunt, right? Now the blunt make both of y'all feel totally different ways, right? So how you emotionally process it is going to be in your own unique way. This is why if you the same moon sign as your friend, y'all may emotionally process the L the same way. So y'all may feel the same way about a lot of things when y'all smoking a blunt. You know what I'm saying? And y'all don't even know y'all got the same moon sign. Y'all might got two different air signs. You might be a Virgo. Your dude might be a Pisces. You like, dang, how we getting along? Your dude might be a freaking, or it might be another air sign, Aquarius. You might be like, dang, how are we getting along? I don't know. But every time, the way he do things, the way he act is way different than I act. But when we smoking, we be reminiscing on stuff, we feel the same way about shit. Y'all might got the same moon sign. So the way y'all process the feeling that the blunt gave y'all is in the same emotional way, in the same emotional stance. You see what I'm saying? So the feelings are not you, is this what you pick up. But how you pick up feelings is due to your Mars and Venus sign. Like for an example, Venus is your pleasures. You know what I'm saying? You might have you might have, I'll say you got a girlfriend or you got a boyfriend if you're a girl, right? And say both of y'all Venus is in the same place, or sextiling or trining each other. Say y'all, so it's relate to the same type of things. For an example, let's just say it's in the same sign. Both of y'all Venus in the same sign. So the way y'all both pick up pleasures is in the same way, but the way y'all act is entirely different ways. So this person may go about it in a whole different way. This person may go about it in a whole different way. The sun is your actions. That's your sun sign. And then the way y'all might feel about that pleasure. I mean, the way y'all might emotionally put that feeling in a box. So, AKA, we can still call it feeling. It's the emotion, the moon, emotions and the feelings also, but just not. It's a thin line between the two. The way you emotionally conduct yourself of that feeling may be entirely two different ways too. Y'all may have two different moon signs. So, I'll say you may have your moon in Leo. Your partner may have their moon in Scorpio. But y'all both are pleasured by say both of y'all Venus is in Virgo. So y'all both may be y'all both may be pleasured by the same, y'all both might be pleasured by the same type of love, appreciation, and value. Like the way y'all relate to each other might be in the same type of way. Now, since Venus is in Virgo here, we have to break it down in ways like this. Anytime a Venus is in Virgo, Venus falls in Virgo. So it's a lack of love, lack of appreciation, lack of value. So a lot of times to overcompensate, it do it with other things. So instead of saying I love you, they rather say I hate you. So that may be a Venus and Virgo way of saying I love you. Instead of saying all the good things about you for them to like you, they may say all the things that they dislike about you. That might be how they like you. That might be how Venus and Virgo play. A Virgo and Venus person may play unappreciated a lot of times, may play the victim, may play disvalue. So a lot of times they feel like they may have an overcompensate by over loving someone else, or over helping someone else, or over appreciate someone else. So this might be what's connecting you two, because you might be like, I'm a Leo, this person is a Scorpio moon sign. Why do we get along? Because the way y'all love and appreciate and value and relate to things is in the same capacity, which is in a Venus way. So a lot of times y'all may criticize each other and stuff like that. Y'all like that from each other. Like the Leo moon person may feel a certain way about it, like, oh, this person criticizing me, criticizing my ways, but for some reason I like that from this person. I don't like nobody else criticizing or criticizing my ways or how I act or how I try to get attention all the times. But for some reason, by this Scorpio person, I like it from this person. Then the Scorpio person and vice versa may feel like this Leo person may always want the attention and may not always want to deal with the emotional security of things, and always want to jump from here and here, and not want to deal with the emotional security of things. And how you deal with that with a Scorpio is having to do things together. If we just together, but we ain't got nothing that we're doing together, like we ain't got no bills together, we ain't got no children together, we ain't got nothing that connects us. We're just, and a lot of times Scorpio could be based off just sex, but a lot of times it end up having to be like Cancer and Pisces within time. It needs something to connect to also. Sex just can't be there. It's just a lot of times Scorpios can last in a relationship based upon sex longer than Cancers and Pisces, but it's still water sign. It just take a lot longer because it's ice. It take a lot longer to melt into all the other relationship things, but a lot of times it has to start with the hardcore thing of it, the ice cube thing of it, the sex. Now, but when we talk about it in general, the Scorpio person is going to feel like the fire sign may not try to connect that way, but for some reason it may like that from this Leo person, this Leo moon person, because they're loving and appreciating, valuing the same realm of reality, which is Venus. So they're catching the same feelings. Just after time, they're processing the feelings in different ways. This moon sign person is processing it in a Scorpio way. This moon sign is processing it in a Leo way. And then once we break down those factors, we can see where they may clash at a lot of times within that, or where they may get along at a lot of times in that. You see what I'm saying? Because even though if the person moon sign is in Scorpio and a sextile their Venus sign, which if their Venus was in Virgo, a lot of times this is still a bad placement period for Venus, because Venus don't like Scorpio because it's away there, it's at work there, and it falls, it's sleep in Venus. So what happens here is that it's at work in sleep. So this, the only sextile it has, is going to witness opportunities to kind of utilize other people's loves and appreciation, try to utilize other people's desires for its own values, and a lot of times, and that's how the Scorpio moon Venus and Virgo person may get ahead, by using the details and using the circumstances of the other person, and trying to connect to that person emotionally in some type of way, and attach themselves to that person in order to be to leave that person vulnerable, to give this Scorpio power to manipulate or put themselves in a situation in this person's life where they can mean something and they can build a bond together, and just not be the simple manipulative Scorpio. They can actually help build a bond with someone else and help lift someone else up emotionally. Then that could be a good thing. But just that's getting into astrology, but just based on the basic alignment, I'm telling you how to separate the basic nature between the emotions and the feelings. So the emotions is what you have, the feelings is what you pick up, and the central processor what picks up and figure out what the emotions is the emotions. So for an example, say your emotions is a computer hard drive, and say feelings are flash drives or programs. When you upload a new program to your computer hard drive gotta process the program you just upload. So for an example, if you have a MacBook Pro, there's certain programs you can upload on there that you can't upload on a Windows computer. So that's for an example. If your moon sign is an earth sign, there's going to be certain programs that you can upload on that program that an air sign can't upload on their program if there was an air moon sign. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Because so that's why you come across people in your life that you just will never understand, because your computer can't process the programs and the hardware that this person is running, and vice versa. Now, you got a lot of computers who may have the same programs though. Just because you got a MacBook Pro and another person got a Acer Windows program, I bet y'all both could get Internet Explorer though. I bet y'all both can get the program Firefox. You know what I'm saying? So by that being said, there's always many feelings that everybody can pick up. It's just the way they process them may be different. You know what I'm saying? Like Internet Explorer may run better on a MacBook Pro than a Dell. You know what I'm saying? But Firefox may run better on a Dell than a MacBook Pro. You see what I'm saying? So, for an example, feelings run better on a moon sign computer, if it was a computer. You know what I'm saying? And a fire sign, feelings run better on a fire and water signs if the moon sign was a computer. You know what I'm saying? And if your moon is in an air and earth sign, you know what I'm saying, feelings may not run that good. You know what I'm saying? It may not run that good. This is why the thinker signs, which is earth and air is thinking in communication, earth is thinking in practicality and common sense. The feeling program on those computers may not run that good. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to when we analyze, think, and communicate. You know what I'm saying? Now, if a moon sign is in a fire or water sign, then the thinking and communicating program software ain't gonna run that good on that hard drive. It's not gonna run good on a water or a fire computer, moon sign. You see what I'm saying? But if your moon sign was in an air or earth sign, and if your moon was a computer, then the thinking program runs smoothly on that computer. See what I'm saying? Runs smoothly. So a lot of times when a fire and an air sign may clash, they make sextile, but sextile only creates opportunities. Opportunities could be good or bad, depending on which one you jump on. Where they may clash at is a lot of times when the air sign is running a program of being logical and rational, the fire sign may be running a program of being irrational and being moody and in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? In their feelings. See, it process feelings. The moon sign in the fire process feelings. The moon sign in the water process feelings. The water may soak in theirs with their emotions. The fire just may see theirs and express it and let it go. But they both process in feelings. You know what I'm saying? Air signs and earth signs, moon signs are not processing feelings. They're processing the information out of it. How can you think about this feeling? Or what's the common sense of this feeling? So a lot of times that's where they clash. That's where water and earth gonna clash. So water becomes the emotional and feeling support to the earth, and earth becomes the thinking and the practicality support to the water. You know what I'm saying? This is why earth is the land, water is what fills the cup up. You know what I'm saying? Fire becomes the emotional and feeling support to the air, and air becomes the thinking and the communication support of the fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same way as the water and the earth. You know what I'm saying? Fire is the emotional support for the air, and air is the analytical support for the fire. Same way for the water and the earth, because the water and the fire are the fillers, and the air and the earth are the thinkers. So, this is the difference between the emotions and the feelings. The feelings is, you're going to catch a lot of feelings. People going to make you feel 1,000 ways every day. The world going to make you, the feeling your surroundings going to make you feel 1,000,000 ways. All kind of ways. And the way you processing these feelings is filtered through the lights of your Mars and Venus. So that's how you even seeing these feelings in the first place, how they're being represented. Because what may be disliked from you may be liked from someone else, because due to your Venus, what signs your Venus and Mars is in. You know what I'm saying? You may like communicating all the time. The person you next to might not like communicating all the time. So your Venus, you may appreciate it. Your Venus may be in the air. The person next to you, their Venus may be in the water. So that person don't like communicating may not appreciate communicating all the time. They may appreciate the feelings of something, but you appreciate the communications of something. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you receive that feeling. That's how the difference, how you can I'm explaining how you process feelings. But feelings is not you. They're just tools. But the emotional stance you have on these feelings, how you process these feelings, is your moon sign. And that's how you're going to be able to process your feelings. So this is why water moon signs may catch feelings and then keep that feeling into an emotional box. So a lot of times they may hold grudges. If you gave them a feeling that they hold on to, that it was a negative feeling, they hold on to that feeling. It's a grudge. It turns into a grudge. They hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? A fire sign process that feeling and may want to express it. They may want to express the dislike of that. You know what I'm saying? The air sign, moon sign, may process that feeling and may want to analyze it and communicate it. And the earth sign may process that feeling and want to see the sense out of it and practicality of it. You know what I'm saying? But the emotions is what you have. The feelings is what you catch. So feelings get caught by fire moon signs, and sometimes it may get caught and expressed and threw back out externally. It may get caught by the water moon sign and kept in to the point that it explodes and splash on everybody. It may get caught in by the air sign and just escape through the air. Just escape. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for them to be emotional. It's hard to catch the feeling of a feeling because they analyzing it. The air is just air. So it's hard for the feeling to be, you know what I'm saying, to be replicated. And so it just drops as in air. It escapes. So air may not be as emotional with their feelings. Earth sign catch it and stabilize it, gives it a support, gives it like a cup, so it makes sense out of it. It catch it and it kind of holds it in, but not hold it in like water, like live in it, because a water moon is the water also, and a feeling is a form of a fluid. Is vibing with this, so it vibing its moods. So if it's an angry mood, it get angry. If it's a happy mood, it get expressive. Earth signs, it's a container. So it holds it in, but like a container. It understand it's not it more than a water moon sign. Because look, when your moon sign is in water, that is water. That is emotions and feelings. So a lot of time a water sign can't distinguish between the emotions and the feelings. They can't distinguish between what feeling that they got and what feelings are their own, what emotions are their own. So a lot of times they get confused. They pick up other people's feelings. They walk into the room, pick up the feelings of the room. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to distinguish. So this is why water signs deal with they have to deal harshly with emotions and feelings more than any other signs. Fire is the second worst dealing with the feelings because they can't help but to express it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you can see the feelings on a fire sign face because they can't help but to express it. So it may even come out a lot of times as rapid fire. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we get it to the air, a lot of times they can communicate about it. So they think what's best. What's the best action to go about that feeling. So a lot of times it's not even emotional involved. If an air sign feel like they need to beat your ass, it's because they think that was the best. They thought that was the best situation to do because they don't want other people thinking,